Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jai Vishnu Paramahamsa Parirajkacharya Astotra Shatashri Srimati Congress Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Om Premanandi. Today our verse is about text 24 from second chapter of first canto. And this verse we are going to discuss that Sutta Goswami explaining that Krishna to be worshipped, especially in relation to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. In the previous verse, he says that the last sentence of the previous verse of these three, like Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu. That's the point he makes, the form of God and goodness. This verse, the Goswami is giving further elaboration in the form of analogy and explains, emphasizes how it is very important. It's needed to come to mode of goodness, in order to really realize the absolute truth in fullness. So, at this point, mode of goodness, what does it mean for us? I was sitting, my thoughts went back to Rompal Maharaja's explanation on the ways of chanting the holy name from Festival of Holy Name last year. He has been stressing so much that Our life is service to Krishna, cultivation of mode of service to Krishna, and what else is the best way other than to start with chanting of the holy name, or by chanting of the holy name, serving the holy name, all other services, will come in place. So it's at least minimally we hope to improve our attention and practice of chanting our name in mode of to be more of mode of goodness, and then rest of the other things, our life activities fall in place. So just a quick question to ask ourselves to open our heart more to the mercy of this verse. Are you feeling disturbed anytime recently? I mean, a week, 2 weeks, or in last month, did you feel any disturbance? And, if you are not feeling disturbance, or if you're feeling disturbance, is it due to because of the feelings of separation of Krishna? Like, if you're really feeling separation of Krishna, then you can get disturbed. Right? So, do you have any disturbance feelings without that objective? Not feeling separation of Krishna. Like basically, you feeling disturbance in a regular, normal life. If you're feeling, if so, then this verse is really we need to call out for the mercy of this verse. And we also know that so far 6 questions have been asked. Out of those 6 questions, 2 questions are related to the happiness. I mean, first question is related to the what is it that will make us happy, everyone happy, and what are we supposed to do or how to live, or what is the essence of the instruction of the scripture. So Sutta Goswami answered those 2 questions and elaborated so much on the process of bhakti from text 16 to 22, meaning that it is Lord Krishna Vasudeva to be worshipped with one-pointed attention. If you have any difficulty in doing that, so pick up the helplines from the verses 16 to 22, which is basically the stages of bhakti. We also had a seminar on Madhuri Kandini recently. So that more elaboration of the stages of bhakti is explained from 16 to 22. So, and this helplines from under this verse, this section basically from last, previous verse 23, it's going to be more emphasis why and how Krishna to be worshipped, and particularly, particularly like from the point of, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. Who is to be worshipped and why Krishna to be worshipped. That's the main emphasis for this section. So with that, we will start going to our verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Pativat Dharno Dumas, Pativat Dharno Dumas, Tasmat Agnis Trayimaya, Tasmat Agnis Trayimaya. Tamasastu rajas tasmat sattvam yad brahma darshanam pativadarno dumas tasmat agnis trayimaya Tamasastu rajasas tasmat. Tamasastu rajas tasmat. Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Pativadarno dumas.
Pativadarno dumas.
Tasmat agnistrari maya.
Tasmat agnistrari maya.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Tamasastu rajasas tasmat.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Pativadarno dumas.
Pativadarno dumas.
Tasmad agnistrahi mayaha.
Tasmat agnistrahi mayaha.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Partivadarno dumas.
Pativadarno dumas.
Tasmat agnistrahi maya.
Tasmat agnistrahi maya.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Pativadarno dumas.
Pativadarno dumas.
Tasmad agnitrahi maya.
Tasmat agnistrahi maya.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Tamasastu rajas tasmat.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam.
Sattvam yad brahma darshanam. So the translation, Parthima, word to word, Parthima, from earth, Daruna, firewood, Duma, smoke, Tasma, from that, Agni, fire, Trayi, Vedic sacrifices, Maya, made of, Tamasa, the mode of ignorance, Tu, but, Rajaha, the mode of passion, Tasma, from that, Sattvam, the mode of goodness, yet which Brahma, the absolute truth, Darshanam, realization. Translation. Firewood is a transformation of earth, but smoke is better than the lava. And fire is still better, for by fire we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge to Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, passion, rajas, is better than ignorance, tamas. But goodness, sattva, is best because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. So, the analogy here is firewood is basically transformation of earth, is coming from earth. And better than that is smoke. The reason it is better is smoke is better than the firewood is, at least we can expect that fire, light and heat is going to come. It is indication that light and heat is going to come. But more better is real fire. And Prabhupada explains in this lecture on this verse. Fire is an important part even in contemporary life, or to speak of Vedic sacrifices. Previously, we used to get benefits from the Vedas, benefits through yajnas. So, firewood helps us perform the yajnas. But even in contemporary world, we are dependent on electricity, fire, and all this. Now it is more IT world, but if you take out our IT and rest of the world, we see this, the lot of living is dependent on fire. Similarly, goodness is best because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. So, emphasis on coming to more of goodness. By goodness one can come to realize absolute truth. So I think the forward. As explained above, one can get release from the conditioned life of material existence by devotional service to the personality of Godhead. It is therefore comprehended really one has to rise to the platform of mode of goodness, sattva, so that one can be eligible for the devotional service of the Lord. But if there are impediments on the progressive path, anyone, even from the platform of tamas, can gradually rise to the sattva platform by the expert direction of the spiritual master. Sincere candidates must therefore approach expert spiritual master for such a progressive march. The one first expert spiritual master is competent to direct a disciple from any stage of life, tamas, rajas, or sattva. In this paragraph, there is this, but if there are impediments on the path of the progressive path, right, one can take help from the expert directions of spiritual master. It also brings back to the question, there is always a controversial question in devotion service. The controversial question is, should we cultivate qualities or the qualities going to be cultivated automatically? So this is this particular sentence puts a similar quantitative question. You know, do we need to come to mode of goodness or just depend on the instructions of spiritual master? Right? So best is doing both. And if you want to have a really progressive match, do both. Try to come to mode of goodness, take help of spiritual master, then we can see the path opening up more and more. And what is it about, one of the primary things of mode of goodness? One of the primary things of the mode of goodness is inquiry. Inquiry, jitnyashu. Not just asking questions, but it's an inquiry. The reason is, in mode of passion, you don't have time to inquire. Get going, this, that. Mode of ignorance, there is no concept at all to inquire. One is always in the mode of ignorance. So mode of goodness helps one, to inquire, which is very important, for a person seeking to realize the absolute truth. And also just want to bring up the point that we are in the second chapter, because like we might ask, what is the relevance about importance of worshipping Vishnu only when anyway not worshipping Devatas at this point. But the context here is that we are just beginning the second chapter. The questions were asked, and so the Goswami explained that it's a devotion service. He is pointing the seeker of absolute truth. He is in the very, very beginning stages, helping out in to worship Vishnu only. And so then, it is also a point for us. Yes, we are not worshipping other devatas, but we also need to inquire, Jitnyashu, are we completely worshipping? How much completely are we worshipping Krishna also? We need to question it in our lives. The reason is, even if you ask this question to Paramahamsa, who is fully self-realized, if you ask him, Haridas Thakur, in his prayers he says, I don't have your remembrance, my dear Lord, please bless me the remembrance. Like that, right? So, it really puts us, inquiring, eye-opening answer that we are not, yet worshipping Krishna, to the most complete possible in our capacity, even, or to speak of the standards. Okay? So let us see the consequences of worship other than Krishna in the next paragraph. It is a mistake, therefore, to consider that worship of any quality or any form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally beneficial. Except Vishnu, all separated forms are manifested under the conditions of material energy. Therefore, the forms of material energy cannot help anyone to rise to the platform of sattva, which alone can liberate a person from material bondage. Right? So, we are practicing devotees, like especially you all came to Bhagavatam means you are really sincerely, trying to perfect our worship to Krishna. And we also expect perfection. In a sense, like we expect, we want to get up very early in the morning, finish our rounds, read Shastra here nights, then go to work, right? But the reality doesn't, match with that, with our expectations, Or like, we expect perfection, we expect everything especially as devotees, we expect things to go as per the plan. And the reason we give is because I'm devotee of Krishna, I'm devotee of Vishnu, and you are all, outside people, you are not devotees of Krishna, you are not practicing highest bhakti yoga. So we have a lot of inherent expectation. But this verse gives us a clue, this paragraph particularly gives us a clue. Are we, how perfect is our worship also, right? So there is some imperfection because except Vishnu, all separated forms, and therefore forms of material energy cannot help anyone rise to the platform of sattva, which alone can liberate a person from material bondage. So we are not getting free from material bondage yet. So that means that our worship has to be. It is not about we are not worshipping Vishnu, but we need to refocus more. This verse and this section brings us to the point of realigning our concept of worship to Krishna. Okay. So people might say, "Oh my God, this is too much. Why bother so much? Just me have some fun. And my life is very temporary. I'm already busy. Let me have the best of the facilities I have. Let me enjoy." If one is thinking like that, then the next paragraph Prabhu says, "The uncivilized state of life, or the life of the lower animals, is controlled by the modes of tamas. The civilized life of man, with passion for various types of material benefits, is the stage of rajas. The rajas stage of life gives a slight clue to the realization of the absolute truth in the forms of the fine sentiment and philosophy, art, culture, with moral and ethical principles. But the mode of sattva is still higher stage of material quality, which actually helps one in realizing the absolute truth." In other words, there is a qualitative difference between the different kinds of worshipping methods as well as respective results derived from the predominating deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu and Hara. So it's clear that by worshipping anyone other than Vishnu, especially here in this verse Brahma and Hara, it will not be same result. The same result is we will not be able to realize the absolute truth, and without realizing it, absolute truth completely, just the life is under the modes of ignorance, right? And you might ask me how you are bringing up that our worship to Krishna is not perfect, based on this context. In chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains different people, basically everyone has tendency to serve, tendency to worship. That's the truth. Everyone is worshipping. And he explains how different people worship different things in chapter 4. Brahmacharis offer their sacrifices in healing, and then the others offer their sacrifices in yajna, things like that. So it's also point introspect. If we introspect in our life, we might find that our actions are motivated by worshipping of anything, other things, other than Krishna and Krishna's instructions. Like, you're working hard. Why are you working hard? I want to get promotion. I want to, become the, leader, manager, or something like that. And why do you want to get promotion? Why do you want to? The leader, manager is because I see that other person, he's a leader, manager, he has having nice facilities. So we end up worshipping very indirectly. I also want to be like that. Just some, explanation for my thought process. But anyway, for us, the important thing is if we don't get to realize Krishna fully, or if we don't get to the mode of goodness, because it is pretty clear mode of goodness is very important. Even in the 16 to 22 verses, in the progressive stages of bhakti, Tata Rajastamo Bhava Kamalo Bodhayasya, like process bhakti eliminates the rajas and tamas, and then it will help you come to mode of goodness. From there, then realization of Krishna will become more prominent. Or in the next verses, why did Krishna appear? It will be explained there that Krishna appeared to reclaim the people. Prabhupada writes as people in mode of pure goodness. And in general, it is said that he came to reclaim people in the mode of goodness. I will take you back to the past time in Krishna, not just to give some connection. When he was on the wrestling arena, and it is explained that people saw him in different ways. Some saw him as a lover, some saw him as a child, some saw him as a nice wrestler, like a hero, things like that. You remember that? So that makes a connection complete for us. Now also, depending on how we see Krishna, then our worship also will become perfect. Way back, long time back, one of my broad brother commented that we were there when Lord Ramchandra was performing pastimes, or Lord Krishna was performing pastimes, or Srila Prabhupada or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing pastimes. But the thing is, we didn't do it. We didn't see completely. Then we are here. Or I'm also remembering, name is slipping. He says that we do, practice of devotion services, we didn't just start this birth. We just duped it in the previous birth. So at least this birth we want to make it. Right? Ravindra Swarup Prabhu. Huh? Blooped it. We blooped it. We didn't make it in the previous birth. Previous birth, so that's the reason. We are still here. So it's a choice now. How we chant. He says in terms of chanting the holy name. So, worship of Krishna, in a way we cannot do until we come to mode of goodness. And we have to start cultivating mode of goodness in the best possible way. If not, pick up the instructions very heartfully. If we can do both, and then refocus, that will ensure us we will not experience unhappiness. And moreover, we also become undisturbed, which is also takes us to the stage of ruchi, steady ruchi, and further will be picked up by the Lord. So next verse is going to more confirm these two verses by giving the example of previous acharyas who perfected following this process. And my thought. So we are fortunate to be blessed with Madhuri's example. We just witnessed the example. There is abundant mercy available. We just need to do things in our capacity to the best possible. And I have one paragraph I picked up from Prabhu's lecture. I will read it. It's going to be pretty strong. I like Bhagavatam classes to be serious because that's what my conception. I think I can read this. Just puts the thing, Prabhupada puts it clear. This is from the lecture on this verse. So Krishna will give you opportunity to remain naked, become animals, trees like that. So that is not our aim of life. Our aim of life, the human form of life, is meant for understanding the absolute truth. Atado Brahma Jijnasa. That is the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra says, Brahma Jijnashu. What is Brahman? What is absolute truth? This inquisitiveness must be there in human life. Then it is human being. Otherwise, he is animal. The animal does not inquire what is absolute truth. Neither the Vedanta Darshana and all these Vedic scriptures are meant for the animals. Okay, they won't inquire. No, all the scriptures are meant for the animals. They are meant for human being. A human being has got the brain. He can understand. He can be trained up to become a Brahmana. These are the opportunities. So, Krishna conscious movement is giving this great opportunity to the human society. They are training them how to become a Brahmana. We are giving them all important Vedic literature translated into English and other. This is the greatest boon to make human life successful. We are very, very fortunate. We are blessed. What if the people want to remain in darkness? Then what can we do? But not that everyone wants to remain in darkness. So many people are coming forward and taking this movement seriously. They are first-class men. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam abhisiddhanam kaschid mam viditataha. So this is the last two sentences in translation for this verse from 713. So take advantage of this great movement. Come to the platform of goodness and see the absolute truth. Then your life is successful. Otherwise, we remain like cats and dogs, eat like cats and dogs. Thank you. So, right on time, 2 minutes late, although we started late. Any discussions, any elaborations? Okay.
I have a question. Hara is mentioned here in the past, right? Is it any connection with Hare?
Shiva.
Yeah, but in one of the lectures, Prabhupada says Hara means energy of the Hare means working about rather than this, this could be.
I have not, I have never.
Even my thinking about it. Hari Narayana Nama Krishna. Hari Narayana Nama Krishna. Yeah. So in that Hara, what does it signify? That is, I should go and do that is that.
I just accepted because I mean Hari it's like Hara's Hari. That's how
I mean, we have Hari form in Mayapur.
Yeah.
We have deity also.
Hari in that, is it Lord's Vishnu Shiva form?
Yeah.
That's what I normally thought about it. Hari but Shiva Vishnu. Yeah, we have also a temple in Kerala. Okay.
Okay, so yes, it was a theory for me coming to more of goodness. But even today, I was late, but but we can start cultivating, as I said, we can try to see how peacefully and nicely, having time to chant holy name. So we can start with that, and with all your blessings, I'll also get benefited. Hari Bol. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.